Is that who I think it is?
Yes, that is him. That is Mokalembembe.
Guys, I know this isn't perfect timing, but we just got an urgent message from Jack. He says that we need to watch our changes very closely, because there may be some unexpected changes in our DNA.
I want to go see if I can communicate with Mr. Mbembe. Wait, what the hell? Holy shitteroni.
So that's what you looked like before you turned into a lizard? Nice.
Wow, yeah, nice.
Damn, I had no idea. Is it hot out here or is it just Eli? Ha ha ha.
Did you do that on purpose or did it just happen without you knowing about it?
I didn't have a clue it was going to happen. I know they said I was going to be able to change back and forth, but I have no idea how it works.
You just do it. It's like you when you decide to reach for something. You just do it without thinking about it. It's the same thing when changing form. You just decide to do it, and it happens.
Looks like it's happening to Travis as well.
Damn, I'm me again. Been a while since I've been me. Feels pretty damn nice, to be honest.
Okay, I'm going to try to change back into a lizard, then go see if I can communicate with the river monster.
Holy shit! Nobody's gonna want to mess with that. So I wonder if you can change by degrees, like changing back into a lizard like you were, or changing into a monster like you are now.
I sure hope you can by degrees, because I definitely don't want to be like this all of the time. However, I guess I can just be my human self until the need arises.
Okay, I'm going to attempt changing back into a frog. We'll see what happens.
That's one hell of a frog. Dude, somehow you turned into a dragon instead of a frog.
Actually, this is kinda cool. Dragon Man. Has a nice ring to it. Sounds a little more manly than Frogman. I wonder if I can breathe fire.
If you're going to try to breathe fire, aim it at the river so you don't start a wildfire. That would be just what we need right now.
So I wonder if this was intentional or if it's just a real aberration with the DNA sequence.
I would think that they would forewarn you if they knew exactly how the new DNA sequencing was going to work.
I'm not quite understanding how the DNA sequence could go from a simple frog to a mythical creature that never even existed. Just like the phoenix bird, a mythical creature.
But that's where the difference lies. The phoenix was a man-made mythical creature. The dragon is not a mythical creature. There's a ton of evidence that says dragons actually existed.
So they're creatures that actually existed, but then went extinct, or what?
They were real. Even the Bible speaks of dragons, even ones that breathed fire. Even as recent as the early 1900s, dictionaries spoke of dragons, saying that only a few remain to this day. But for whatever reason, most likely a presumptive mindset based on false premises, they started relegating dragons to the realm of myth, despite the plethora of evidence that showed they were regarded as real as any other animal known to man.
Here's the way I view it. When you have petroglyphs and other drawings of the same creature all over the world, made by people who had no way to communicate with each other, yet drew pictures of the same thing. To me, that's proof that such creatures exist. There are too many witnesses for it to be something of myth.
I have seen several creatures that looked like a dragon, but they did not breathe fire. Or at least I have never seen them do so. I have not heard any stories of fire-breathing creatures either, at least in modern times. There are stories and drawings of such creatures in the past.
Exactly. Every culture all over the world has either drawings or stories about dragons, or at least serpents that produced fire.
So I'm a famous historical creature. Imagine that.
Frogs existed in the past, too. They just didn't breathe fire. And they didn't light their farts like someone we know.
Yeah, but Henry's gone now, so don't have to worry about that.
I'm not talking about Henry, and Henry's not a frog. Kinda narrows it down, doesn't it?
Bah! When have you ever seen me lighting farts? Okay, that one time doesn't count. I was just proving a point.
Hopefully you don't have any more points to prove. Yuck.
Okay, while we were busy changing back and forth from human to animal, Mr. Mbembe got away. I really want to find him and see if I can communicate with him.
How do you know it's a him? It could be a her.
If we can locate it again, that's one thing I'll be able to determine.
Just a word of caution. If it does turn out to be a her, don't do like Marcus did and get involved emotionally.
Honestly, I think that was something Marcus already had in his head, for whatever reason. Remember him talking about meeting a female gorilla before we even left the States?
Yeah, but we all thought it was one big joke. Turns out it wasn't a joke. But the one good thing that came out of it all was that we got to meet Mbali and have her become a part of our team.
Yeah, that was definitely something good that came out of that. I can't imagine what my situation would be right now if I hadn't met you guys.
Funny how things have a way of working out. I feel very fortunate that I've gotten to work with this team. I'm really hoping that things stay as is for a while.
They said that after this mission, they didn't know if I'd be needed by the team any longer. They said they would reevaluate after the mission and make a determination then.
What I'm wondering is how you develop any cohesiveness and camaraderie if you're always switching personnel. I don't even feel like I've gotten to know all of you yet. There have been so many changes just in the short time I've been with the team.
Eli and Travis are the OGs of the team. They've been with it since the beginning. I really think they need to keep you two together. You're used to working with each other and you are both dependable and do your jobs.
Daphne, I consider you an OG as well. Cheetah only lasted a few days, and you were sent in to replace him. That was almost at the beginning, so we really haven't been a part of the team much longer than you.
True, but I wasn't an original, so I don't consider myself an OG. Maybe a junior OG, but not an original OG.
I still think that we should talk to the brass and ask them to please not break the group up. Let us work together, develop, and grow together.
I totally agree. I don't feel like leaving you guys for another group. You are all like family to me.
Oh, look! He has returned! Now is your chance to see if you can communicate with him. Or her. Ha ha ha.
Okay, I'm just going to change into lizard form so I don't alarm him. Or her.
They seem to be communicating. That's a good thing.
Okay, this is too funny. Eli is riding the dinosaur like a horse.
Ride that thing, cowboy.
Hee-haw! Wahoo! You all should try this. It's great.
I just wish we knew where the lab was. Eli could ride Mowgli and Bembe right into their compound.
That would be hilarious. I guarantee they would shit a brick.
For many people out here in the remote parts of the jungle, they revere Moklumbembe as a god or some other kind of divine creature.
Something just came to mind. I wonder if it knows the location of the lab. If Eli can communicate with it, it possibly knows the location.
We did conclude that it had to be close to a river for a hydropower source, so it's a good possibility that it has seen the lab personnel.
I'm going to ride Mokla down the river a ways. By the way, it is a she, and she hasn't seen the lab, but saw them setting up a pump system about a mile down the river from here.
Okay, I'm going to do some scouting. I wish I could fly without making noise. I'll try to fly high enough that maybe they don't hear my wings buzzing.
This is obviously a massive operation. To have multiple labs set up here, to me that suggests they have more going on than just concocting a serum.
Guys, these flowers here are definitely not for making serum. They're for making heroin or cocaine. I knew that this area was famous for growing weed, but it looks like they're progressing into the hard stuff.
I know that in the brief we received, they were concerned about several activities these people might be into, like drug trafficking, deforestation, illegal mineral harvesting, and maybe even human trafficking. If that's the case, we may end up encountering an entire army that's protecting their investment.
Guys, I've located the power source. Travis is right. They have quite the setup here. Definitely a hydro generator that's big enough to power a lot of equipment. By the way, Mokla's getting really nervous, so I'm gonna let her head back to wherever she wants to go.
If she is getting nervous, then they were probably shooting at her. She would not be afraid of people without a reason such as that.
Guys, not far from here, there's a stack of crates with some of the serum flowers along with other chemicals. It looks like there is an underground tunnel close by as well.
Depending on the chemicals, they could be using the flowers and their hallucinogenic properties to create synthetic drugs similar to heroin or cocaine or even LSD. That would be a very lucrative venture for sure.
If that's the case, There's a ton of money at stake. That means there's going to be a large force of people or even an army guarding it. I would venture to guess that there's definitely cartel involvement. I mean, that's pretty much a no-brainer.
Guys, it makes perfect sense that the plants are being used to create a new psychedelic drug. Because it would be so rare, it would demand very high prices on the black market. We're talking major bucks here.
If there's that much money involved, you can almost guarantee that there will be cartel involvement. The cartels have already been exploiting Africa for raw materials and minerals. And if the cartels are involved in this, we're going to need an all-out assault to defeat them. It will take more than just us.
But we're talking about an overt operation, not covert like us. We need to try to find out how fortified the ports and other parts of the shoreline are.
Another thing I noticed while doing the scouting is that there are a lot of areas that you can tell have been cleared by man. So that could be deforestation going on, or them just clearing out areas to build their labs and that kind of activity.
The thing that worries me a little is that maybe we're in over our heads. Dealing with cartels is no joke. They have no conscience and won't hesitate to kill anyone and everyone who stands in their way. We really need to exercise discretion before jumping into anything.
I think we should just follow the river to see what we can find. Since they need the river for power, all of their facilities should be close to the river. Also, it will be safer than walking through the brush, where traps and explosives could be placed.
The thing that makes this scenario tough to deal with is the caution we have to exercise so as to not disturb the ecosystems. If we weren't worried about that, I could hurl fireballs and destroy everything in the path. But the environmental ramifications would be horrendous.
Especially if news outlets discovered that the US was sending army personnel here on what they would definitely label as a search and destroy mission. Which basically it is, but we can't be destroying that which we need to preserve.
Sucks to have integrity and ethics, doesn't it? Unfortunately, the cartels and other militia groups exploiting the Congo's resources don't have the same mentality. As long as they make their money, they couldn't care less what they destroy.
That really puts us at a disadvantage. We have to play by certain rules, and they play by their own, which is basically none. But it is what it is, right? We just have to deal with it.
Guys, take cover. There's a patrol coming down along the riverbank. We need to stay out of sight until they pass.
They may have already seen us, depending on the type of surveillance setup they have. You can bet that they have cameras pretty much everywhere, so I would imagine they're looking for us specifically.
Okay, get ready to defend. We'll need to do whatever it takes to survive. This is the turning point right here.